Welcome! This is Crispy, otherwise known as Bystander X79, coming to you with a new video. Today's video is going to be a deck profile on Six Samurais. Alright, now Six Samurais has been a deck that's been around for a while. Started off in the GX era, picked up some more support in the 5Ds era, and then we just recently got some more support last November in the Spirit Warriors special set. Alright? Now, cool thing about Six Samurai is that this particular archetype is actually based off of Japanese lore. If you're a fan of learning about the backstory of the cards, please, by all means, go research it and learn a little bit about how Konami bases these cards off of that lore. All right. Well, actually, this is not a history video, so we're just going to turn around and go right into the deck build. First up, main deck monsters. One copy of Elder of the Six Samurai. Elder of the Six Samurai is basically the Cyber Dragon of the Six Samurai monsters. Your opponent controls a monster, you don't. You can special summon this guy to the field. Maybe level 3, it has low level attack. But the cool thing about it is that he's like a free summon, and he opens up a heck of a lot of plays. You can open up rank 3 plays, you can open up your level 5 synchros, which is either going to be Xian or Naturia Beast. Okay. I want the one copy of Grandmaster of the Six Samurai. Now, you can only control one Grandmaster on the field. You really don't have to worry about it because most Six Samurai decks, including mine, only run one. Coolest thing about it is that he can be special summoned to the field when you control another Six Samurai monster, or you can use asceticism on a Kazan that has its effect powered itself up to bring him out. Okay. Cool thing about it is if he ever is popped by an opponent's card effect, you get another Six Samurai monster back from the graveyard. So having that utility is very good with this deck. All right. An oldie but a goodie, we have two Kagemusha of the Six Samurai. Kagemusha used to be the go-to tuner in this deck. Now that we got Secret Six Samurai, we actually got two new tuners in that new support, so we really don't need to run that many copies of them. Unfortunately, I've actually tested this deck without him and Elder in this deck. I can tell you this right now, yeah, this deck needs those cards in here. Alright. Quick note about his effect. If one and just one of your Six Samurai monsters are targeted by an opponent's card effect, you can change the target onto this card instead. A lot of players just use Kagemusha as a tuner and they forget about this card effect. I can tell you right now, it's very handy if you want to protect maybe a face-up Xian. Alright? So don't forget this card has that type of protection effect. Alright, then we have Legendary Six Samurai Inishi. Alright, Inishi is a level 4, light attribute monster, 1700 attack. Yeah, he eats up your normal summon if you have to search him, but a lot of times there are other ways to get him out of the deck. You can asceticism him. If you have Legendary Six Samurai Kageki on the field that already has that brought out another monster, because then they're both at 1700. Cool thing about it is that when Inishi is on the field with another Six Samurai monster, you can banish two Six Samurai monsters from the graveyard and bounce one of your opponent's monsters off the field. So it's a compulsory evacuation device effect. If you have Inishi with two other Six Samurai monsters with different names, it bumps his attack up by 500 attack points. Speaking of Kageki, I run two copies of Kageki in here. Kageki is a play starter. You summon him, you special summon another Six Samurai monster from your hand to the field. He opens up your rank 3 plays, he opens up your synchro plays. I run him in at 2 because I kind of find 3 kind of cloggy a lot of the times. I know it sounds strange, but it does happen. He powers up his attack by 1500 attack points when he has another Six Samurai monster on the field, making him a perfect asceticism target for Inishi. By himself, you can actually target him with asceticism and bring out Secret Samurai Fuma. Alright. And if we're talking about Legendary Six Samurais, we gotta talk about Kazan. This is the linchpin and go-to level 4 monster for the Six Samurai deck. You can have him in your hand with another Six Samurai monster on the field. You can special summon him. If there's 2 more Six Samurai monsters on the field, he boosts his attack up by 800. His base attack is 1800, making him a perfect asceticism target for bringing out Zanji and going into your rank 4 plays. I mentioned this with Grandmaster. If he powers up his attack, you can actually bring Grandmaster out with its power-up effect as well. So he's a bit of a linchpin. You're going to be recycling him a lot just to turn and get your plays going. Alright. Alright. I run 1 copy of Maxi because it's Maxi. Let's face it, your opponent special summons a lot. You get a lot of draws when you discard this card in response. To the Secret Six Samurai stuff. Alright, now the Secret Six Samurais, they all have the effect that allows them to activate in the graveyard and banish themselves to protect one of your other six Samurai monsters on the field from being destroyed by a card effect. Very cool effect. Fuma is actually a level 1 tuner. Could bring him out using asceticism on Kageki without a little monster on the field. But he's primarily at 2, primarily because of his destruction effect. Whenever he's destroyed by battle or card effect, you special summon a 6 Samurai monster from your deck to your field. Again, getting more monsters onto the field. This guy floats, so it's always a great card to have in your deck. Alright, I won 1 copy of Secret Six Samurai Gemba. He's the other level 2 tuner monster in this deck. His effect basically allows you to grab a monster that's banished and add it to your hand. So he's great for mid to late game. If you open up with him with Kageki, level 5, Shien, automatic. I mean, I can't just turn around and say anything else about this card. Alright, I also turn around 1 Secret Six Samurai Hatsume. Now, Hatsume is a level 3. Cool thing about her is that she can banish a six Samurai monster from the field and 1 from the graveyard to special summon 1 back from the 1 Six Samurai monster from the graveyard. With the way I play my deck, I use her effect to basically bring back a Shien. She is very good in that regards. I find running just 1 copy of her is more than enough. I tried her at 2 and it just got cloggy and it blocked the plays. I also find her working in tandem with the quick Six Samurai quick play spells, either Cunning or Secret Skills, very well. It's going to be, the way I see it, you just run her and just 1 of those quick play spells. Alright, we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the quick play spell. Alright, last monster I have is the Six Samurai Zanji. Again, it says it's in target for Kazan, opens up your rank 4 plays, and as long as you have another Six Samurai monster on the field, you can actually crash this guy into a bigger monster, and its effect will basically take that monster out as well. So you get monster removal as well. Alright, so those are my main deck monsters. On to the spells. Alright. You run 3 copies of Asceticism of the Six Samurai. I can't tell you how good this card is and how much speed it adds to the deck. The primary reason why you run Elder and Kagemusha is basically because of this card. It opens up a heck of a lot of Synchro and Xyz plays. I can't tell you how good this card is. This card needs to be at 3. I've played around with this ratio, tried it at 2. It sucks at 2. You never see it at 2. Run this card at 3, and you'll see what happens. Alright. Alright, now I have 1 copy of Cunning of the Six Samurai. Basically, you send 1 monster, Six Samurai monster from your field to the graveyard, especially summon 1 from your graveyard. So it's basically like trading in the field to apply extra damage to your opponent during the battle phase, which is pretty cool. Also lets you get back to your Legendary Six Samurai Shien if your field gets board wiped. All you gotta do is just summon one monster and bring a guy back. So, and the best part about it is that even with Master Rule 4, any properly summoned secret monsters that come back from the graveyard go to the main monster zones, and you don't even have to have a link monster on the field to do that. I talked about this with Hatsume. It should be Hatsume and Cunning, or Hatsume and the Secret Skills. I tried running without Hatsume, didn't work. I tried running without Hatsume in both of the quick play spells, and I can tell you right now it didn't really work, because a lot of times my board could wind up getting wiped, and I really didn't have anything on the field or even my graveyard that helped me out. So the way I see it, it's either Hatsume and one of the two quick play spells. Alright? Cunning or Secret Skills. I prefer Cunning, as you can see. Alright, now we have another Linchpin continuous spell, Gateway of the Six. Anytime you normal or special summon a six samurai monster, this card gains 2 Bushido counters. You can remove any number of Bushido counters and apply a particular effect. In this particular situation, remove 2, you boost 6 samurai monster on the field by 500. Remove 4, you can search a 6 samurai monster from your deck to your hand, or even get one back from the graveyard to your hand. If you remove 6, you can, bring back a Shien effect monster from your graveyard. Problem with that is really don't run, a lot of the Shien style cards in this deck, so, and it cannot recycle Legendary Six Samurai Shien because the spelling of the name Shien is different than on this card. In this card, Shien is all together as one name. On the Synchro Monster is actually, there's a space between the Shi and the N. That's a smart move on Konami's part, doing that. I'm going to put this over here for the time being. I'm going to talk a little bit about Shien's Dojo. Okay. Dojo gains a Bushido counter as well. Whenever a 6 samurai monster is normal or special summon, send the card to the graveyard, and the number of Bushido counters tells you what level 6 samurai monster you can special summon from your deck. And now the cool thing about it is that if you don't have any level 4s you have to want to special summon, you can do a level 3 if you have 4 Bushido counters on this. Alright. Put this over there. And the last card that holds Bushido counters is going to be 6 Samurai United. Whenever a 6 Samurai monster is normal or special summon, this card gains a Bushido counter. Maximum number of counters it can hold is 2. Send this card to the graveyard with Bushido counters on it, and you draw an equal number of cards equal to the Bushido counters on the card when you send it. Alright. Now, I'm going to talk real fast about these 3 cards because, push them over a little bit, since they all hold Bushido counters, this is kind of basically a continuous spell engine of the deck. Best case scenario is that you open up with a Gateway of the Six and either Dojo or United to hold Bushido counters, and once you start summoning monsters, you can actually start this a loop of searching, summoning, and recycling. And the main monster you're going to be doing this, like I said before, is your linchpin monster, Legendary Six Samurai Kizan. Alright? This helps build your field up real fast. If you want to use this to build into a ton of Link monsters, you can. My deck really doesn't do that. Basically because I don't really like that whole style of play of Link Summon Spam. I think this deck is a great Synchro Center deck, and my extra deck is more geared towards that type of strategy. But the whole field building, Six Samurai Spam, using these cards still does work. Now, if Konami decides on the next ban list to give us more than one Gateway, I would strongly suggest you edit the ratio of Dojo to Gateway, just so you can see it a little bit more often. But unfortunately, since I think on the next list Konami is going to try to rein in the loops, I don't think we're going to see Gateway back to more than one. unless they errata it, and I seriously doubt they're going to errata it now that we have it back at 1. Alright, so we take all those cards, put them over here. Search power for the deck. Shien Smoke Signal allows you to search out level 3 or lower 6 samurai monster from your deck. So that's Kazan, Hatsumi, Elder, and basically all your tuners. Soul Charge is next. Basically, either rebuild your field after it gets wiped, or extend your combos on turn 1. This is insane on turn 1. Alright. Of course, we're talking about a warrior deck, so you have to have reinforcement of the army. Search your deck for a level 4 or lower warrior type monster and add it to your hand. And last but not least, I run 1 copy of Upstart Gauntlet because Upstart Gauntlet basically allows me to run a quote-unquote 39 card deck. The 1,000 life points your opponent gets from this card's effect really doesn't matter, because if you play the deck right, you're going to be able to blow through those life points anyway. Okay. On to the main deck traps. One tech card I like to see is Backs to the Wall. Again, just like Soul Charge, can help you rebuild the field after it gets wiped, or even extend your combos if you said on the previous turn. Unlike Soul Charge, this card also allows you to get extra attack on the board when you're swinging for game, and I find myself using this card for that purpose a lot more than the other two. Basically, when you activate this card, you pay until you have 100 life points, and you can special summon as many 6 samurai monsters with different names from your graveyard back to the field. So the extra attack pressure works so well. Okay. I run 3 copies of Double-Edged Sword Technique. Double-Edged Sword Technique special summons 2 6 samurai monsters from your graveyard to the field. Combo extender, field rebuilder, play opener. It can do all that. Cool thing is that now that we have Fuma, we can bring back 1 monster plus a Fuma. Use that other monster for another play, whether it be Exceeds or anything else. And let's let Fuma get popped. I mean, Fuma only has 200 life points. I mean, 200 attack points, so you only lose 200 life points. But you get a special summon. So it's actually kind of worth it now to take a hit by leaving Fuma on the field. Alright. This deck does have weakness to monster effects, so we run 2 Solemn Strikes, negates monster effects, deals with the inherit special summons, Synchro, Exceeds, Pendulum, Link. It's overall a great card to have in this deck. And then last but not least, run 1 copy of Solemn Warning. This basically negates all the other special summons that start a chain and any other effects that can summon monsters. Okay. On to the extra deck. 15 card extra, and we start off with Secret Six Samurai Rihan. Cool thing about Rihan is that it's banished from the graveyard effect. Still there. It protects against a monster, your 6 samurai monsters, from being destroyed by card effects, but also protects them from being destroyed by battle. You need 3 to get him on the field. He's a contact fusion, so you need 3 6 samurai monsters with different attributes, and you send them to the graveyard. You bring this guy out. He does have a cool effect. Basically, you banish one 6 samurai monster on your field, and then you can target one of your opponent's monster and banish it off their field. The only thing that could have made that card a little bit better is if that banish effect was a quick effect. Unfortunately, it's not, so that's why he's at 1. Speaking of quick effects, you can't run a Secret Six a 6 samurai extra deck without legendary 6 samurai Shien. Quick effect that negates the activation of a spell and trap once per turn. I can't tell you how good he is in this deck. He adds great field presence and a great level of control onto the field just having him around. Other reason why I have him is that he's a low-level Synchro Monster, level 5, and with the way Master Rule 4 has us, one way to play a more Synchro-centric deck is to use your low-level Synchro Monsters and Synchro Summon into your larger ones. I think that's the way we should be playing Synchro-centric decks until we get Needle Fiber in one of our future core boosters. Alright, next card, I run the one copy of Naturia Beast. Naturia Beast is a cool card, negates activation of any spell cards your opponents throw down. The cool thing about it is that Naturia Beast isn't a hard once per turn, so you can, as long as you have cards in your main deck, you can be negating their spell cards all day long. Takes one Earth turn and one Earth monster, so it's basically going to be the Kagamusha Elder combo to bring him out. Two copies of Blackwing, nothing to Starlight. I like him because he's a generic level 6, and when he synchros summons to the field, your opponent gets hit with 800 points of burn damage, and one of their monsters loses 800 attack. I'm not sure if a lot of players noticed this, but 6 Samurai monsters tend to cap off around 2500 attack, which means this card's effect when it's summoned, pretty damn epic and useful for helping your 6 Samurai monsters get over them. Again, low-level Synchro Monster, use it to build into your higher level ones. And speaking about your higher level ones, of course, to help with the weakness this deck has the monster effects, you have Crystal Wing, Synchro Dragon, level 8. Basically, once per turn during the player's turn, when another monster's effect is activated, you can negate that activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. And if you do that, this card's attack gains attack equal to the destroyed monster's original attack until the end of the turn. If this card battles another monster, you can add that monster's attack onto it, and it's very hard to get off the field once it's on the field. Especially if it's backed up by something like a Xian or a Naturia Beast. Now, speaking of going annoying, we have Cypher Malort Omega. Excuse me. Cool thing about Cypher Malort Omega, it plays keep away with your opponent's cards in their hand. Another cool thing is if he's on the field during your opponent's standby phase, you get to recycle any of your banished cards back into your graveyard, which means you can actually reuse this card to help you reuse your Secret Six Samurai. Yes, protection effects. So good utility there. Last Synchro I have in my deck is Leo, Guardian of the Sacred Tree. I like him in this basically because of his 3100 attack point body, but his Earth Attribute and his effect, where he can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects until your main phase 2, also very good in this deck. As long as you make it hard for your opponent, that's great. Now, if you don't like Leo, the other card I can potentially suggest is Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. I found that Trishula can actually be very useful if you happen to turn around and Synchro Summon it. It can actually break through your opponent's established field. It breaks through, it actually banishes one card off your opponent's field, banishes one card out of the graveyard, and or one card out of their hand. And the cool thing about it is even if they don't have a card in the field, a card in the graveyard, or a card in the hand, you can still banish stuff. Alright, on to the Exceed monsters. I run one copy of MX Saber Invoker. Basically, Kageki plus Elder or Hatsumi, or even 2 Kageki in that case, can make this guy detach the material, you special summon an Earth Attribute monster, and from there, you can actually go into your link play. So if you ever get stopped by something like an Ash Blossom or even a Droll and Lockbird, this card can actually get you out and actually get you something onto the field. So you won't turn around and wind up getting overrun so easily. Alright. Now rank 4 we have the Utopia package. Utopia package is in this deck basically because it can steal games. Rank 4 toolbox staple, and then of course I run one copy of Shadow of the Six Samurai Shien. He's in there because he's a Six Samurai name, which adds tokens to your token cards. There is a common play if you have him and Kaigeki on the field, where you can actually boost Kaigeki up attack even higher by making his base attack to 2,000, and then on top of that, the Kaigeki's effect adds 1,500, so he can be up to 3,500. So it's actually pretty good play to have. But mostly he's there for a 6 samurai. Now, if you noticed, we have a lot of Earth Attribute monsters, so you run Mrs. Radiant. Powers up your Earth Attribute monsters, weakens Wind Attribute monsters, and whenever it's destroyed, you get an Earth Attribute monster back from your graveyard to your hand. Alright, so that's a no-brainer. And hence why I run Leo in this deck, because he gets a power boost and makes himself even more harder to get over. And the other Link monster I run is Link 3-play Decode Talker. Basically, anything he points to allows him to gain extra attack. He can protect himself by sending a card he points to the graveyard. He's there basically to help counterbalance the whole power level cap that most 6 samurai monsters are there. And he does open up some interesting plays. I mean, just having the arrows point where he does. Now, I know in the upcoming Extreme Force set, one of the new Link monsters is going to be the Noble Knight monster. It's definitely a card you wanted to actually use in this deck, because whenever it's Link summoned, you get a Rota effect, which is basically you searching your deck for a warrior type monster. With the way this deck can loop, I would consider that card be very detrimental to how this deck is played in the future. With that being said, that's it for my deck profile. Alright, as always with every deck profile I put on this board, use my decks as a base. If you don't like certain cards in your deck, take them out, try other stuff in it. Find what works for your playstyle. And if you do very well with it, hey, let me know in the comments. There is a comment section. Please leave your comments. Alright, if you like the video, click the thumbs up icon. If you love the video, subscribe. And if you want to be notified whenever I throw up a new video, there's that little bell icon next to the subscription. Click on that. Join the notification squad. Alright. That's it for this deck profile. I'll be seeing you next week in another video. Until then, peace out, everybody.